Alright, I'm giving myself no time to actually rest up, so we're just going to head straight to the next act then. Next act! So, we have our options. We have Sumereko, who wishes to trade. That'll be interesting. We have Raisin again. We have Kari. And for our Act 3 boss, it's Junko. That's annoying, considering our options. But we'll make do as we go here. Alright, let's jump straight into it. Let's see here. Let's go down, because that gives us two good options here. And as soon as we get into battle, we love into the Lovesick Girl. The Lovesick Girl, more than likely, this is going to be your first boss, or your first enemy in this section. Every time. Every time. And I mean that. Every time. Alright, so let's use our ability. Let's draw. Let's use this. Let's use this. Sure. If it's free power, sure. Alright, so the Lovesick Girl. Her gimmick is that she gives you this. Love letters. Give this to the Lovesick Girl. She'll be happy. And the reason she needs to be happy is because she's currently at level 3 of unhappiness. Lingering regrets. She takes 60% less damage because it's at level 3. At Lunatic, this is level 5. And she takes no damage. Oh yeah, this is one of those enemies. So, let's see if we can actually do something with here. This is still free, but I'm going to use Shoot, because it gives her vulnerability, so this does at least a little more damage. Let's use Graze. Hitbox, sure, we'll do that. Gain 5 Graze. And not much else we can do at this point, so I'm actually going to go ahead and turn. And because of Philosopher's Stone, we keep all of our rainbow mana. So that's actually pretty useful. Okay, so the love letters. If we use these right away, we just shout, "I love you!" We just want to make her happy. That's all she wants, she just wants to be happy. Alright, so with that said though, we still need to try and not die. So we're gonna do damage to her, and we're gonna inflict weak on her. Because we need her to not try and kill us. We have Grace, so she wasn't going to kill us anyway, but you know, we kinda don't want to mess with that. Yeah, we'll do that one more time, because we can still do... Well, actually, do I have any way to gain mana here? No, I do not. Okay, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do Fist, because we're going to do 96 damage. And so she has only 47 HP left. You can do a spell card to do that, finish her off. No damage. Haha. Yeah. In this game. You know what? Sure. I'll take a second Awu. But yeah, in almost every instance, she's practically going to be your first enemy in this act, almost every time. She's not always the first enemy, but gosh darn, it feels like she's always there. Always. But with that said, we go to our next enemy, which is the Tanuki. The Tanuki, who is... Kanako? Kanako, what are you doing here? You look so slender, too. You look so small. She looks cute this way, actually. Yeah, she looks cute. Alright, so, with that said then, yeah, this is gonna be interesting. So Kanako just summons a bunch of dudes here. These aren't summons, they're just more enemies. Spirit of Elegance, it has the amulet, but also has Elegance. Gain 1 maximum life when you defeat it. And then this guy gains 9 money when you defeat it, so that's not bad. Let's see what we can draw into. Alright, not bad. Vulnerability down. Add an attack treasure gun is pretty interesting. Let's add you in and see what we can do with you. So, one fist should be enough to kill one of you. So, let's do this. We'll punch you first. Yeah, that's pretty helpful. Alright. You do 32 damage. So, we need to do 20. So, if we do this move, we should be fine. Alright, so, Radiant Treasure Gun is pretty interesting. You deal 21 damage flat out, but it has an Expel. Expel means you gain 30 money when you defeat the enemy with it. So, you have to do, when you use this card, you have to use it in order to defeat it. So, if we do this, if we defeat the enemy here with Treasure Gun, we kill it, and we gain extra 30 money. So that's pretty useful. There are several cards that can do Expel, but the problem is with the cards like that, with Expel, they exile. A lot of them normally have exile, so you have to use it that one turn, otherwise it's not really helpful. Alright, so gonna go, quote unquote, tries to attack, and we're fine. She's going to summon, so we're not in danger. So let's use these. You're free now, so that's nice. And you're free now, so we get that. We'll use that. You're free too, and that's fine. Alright, so she summons another Spirit of Wealth, which doesn't give us the money because it's a summoned monster. Lame. Alright, so let's do more damage to you. Let's actually gain some block here, because we need some defense here. She's doing 22, which will live through that one, I guess. Let's do another 22 damage to you. And we don't need to use you, so we're fine. We managed to save 3 mana, so we're fine. 12 damage won't go through, so that's good. Alright, meditation. What do we get? Let's do the orbs, sure. And let's go Awu. Now go Awu, we can go... Actually, no. Let's use the wings, because the wings do it twice. And it does just enough. Just enough. I always love when the plan comes together. Some interesting choices. Reduce it by 3. Cannot be applied with lock on. That's actually pretty good. This isn't like the most sought out ability card, but it's pretty useful, then I'm gonna go ahead and use it. So I think we'll be fine. Alright, first event. Oh geez, we entered a bar randomly. At 3 in the morning. I think it's like 4 or 5 in the morning right now, actually. So, yeah, we're at a bar at 5 in the morning. That's not really good for business. But it is good for good business because this is actually a pretty interesting one. So, this event gives us 3 options. Take a swig and gain Breath of the Whale. At the start of odd number turns, lose a mana. At the start of each even number turns, add 2 mana. This isn't terrible, but it's really not worth it in comparison to what you get the other 2. You can have a drinking competition. You can gain 800 money, but you get 2 drunk. If you gain 2 drunk, you can only play up to 3 cards each turn while it's in hand. So, the money is good, like really good, but oh god, drunk. Misfortune drunk. Ugh. No. I don't know if I can really use it very well. Or we take a sip and fight a random group of enemies to gain a random rare exhibit. This is the one I usually go for because the exhibit's usually pretty good. So let's take a sip. Yeah, the usual. Keep it on my tab. Don't worry about last month's bill. Miori, what did you drug me with? Oh, it had to be you two! It had to be you two! Oh, no. This is gonna be rough. So, the Moon Rabbits. They are annoying. They only have 18 HP and 20 HP, but they have Flawless. Then that doesn't go away. You only do 1 damage to them every attack. Every attack. Does not matter if they have vulnerable or not. They only take 1 damage each. Ugh! That's annoying. Alright, well, thankfully Yukari gives us a tip bag, which we can add 1 of 3 things. Add 5 shoots, gain 20 barrier, or gain 10 life. 10 life we don't need. Barrier I think will be fine without it for this one. So I'm going to add 5 shoot. They also have replenish. Replenish means that when it's drawn, you draw an extra card. So that's pretty nice. Okay, so let's see here. I think first things first, I need to take away your damage. Vulnerability does not matter, but firepower down does. Very much so. So, let's see. If we use this, we can do this. We can use the OK Buster. Excuse me. Use the OK Buster 2 times and attack this one. And do 4 damage. That's pretty useful. And it does weak twice, so it's weak for 2 turns. Wing Beast is pretty good, so we just do 2 more damage. And then we attack with shoot twice, so that's 2 more damage. So now she took 8 damage, thankfully. But that's all we can do. So she does this, and then we take 6 damage, sadly. But we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Let's see. I think we need some defense, so I'm going to use this. And then we're going to use this move. We're going to go ahead and add some Graze, because Graze is pretty good. Dodge more. And above the realm gives us Raging Wave, which is very useful because we do 2 attacks to both. That's pretty useful. And we have that in our deck at the moment, so yeah, that's pretty nice. So out of the 2 here, I'd say the Earnest Moon Rabbit is a lot more annoying, because every other turn she'll cast a buff on herself. In this case, she added accuracy. Her attacks will never miss now. That is annoying. So we need to deal with that. So let's see here. Meditation gives us 2 weak, again, 2 Yokai Busters, which is pretty useful. We'll do... Ooh. Not sure about that one. Alright, let's do Exorcism Dance. Oh, this might be a problem here. Shoot. Okay, yeah, we're gonna take some damage here, sadly. Damage. I probably could have done that a lot better, but yeah, that's rough. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do that. Alright, so you have 4, 3. I really hate to use a spell card like this, but I really cannot afford to take much more damage. So I think I'm going to use the spell card and do 3 damage and get rid of you. Thomas, really useless. Now I have to stop lazing around. Well, too bad for you. You can't be lazy all the time, lazy bun bun. Okay, so she's the one that's going to start doing damage here. So let's go Awu. Let's do this to upgrade. Sure. Let's use this to blank some defense. Sure, do more damage, sure. Yeah, that's fine. So she hits us for 3, so we have static charge, which hits her for 3 times. Oh, but you have Dango. You gain a life at the end of each turn. I cannot have that happen all the time, lady. So we're gonna do Exorcism Dance right away. And then use Yokai Buster. And then shoot. And then shoot. And then shoot. So you only have 1 HP, but you heal for 1, so you have 2 HP. So as long as we draw a card that can do 2 damage, like you, we're done with this one. Man, those are some powerful illusions. What happened? Just take this and go! So she gives us the Lunar Fan. Now that's a pretty good one. Start of each player's turn, Reimu only loses half her block. So we don't lose all our block on every turn now. So that's pretty useful. Alright, so let's go to Yukari. I'm pretty low on health. But Pagoda is pretty useful. So now our Pagoda is at full power. Spiffy. Now, let's see what this is. Let's trade, quote-unquote. Sumireko, trade some cards for this collectible card game of the outside world? Trade with rare cards. If you don't have any reading, raise your price. Well, let's see what you want. You want to either trade my Minakata for one of your cards, or you want 125 mun for one of your cards. I like my Minakata a lot. So go ahead and take some of my money so that I can grab one of these. I think I'll get Lost in Paradise, since it enters the hand upgraded anyway. Enters the deck, I should say. That's Nintendo's latest console! Can I have it for this high-end cosmetic? I got it from a raffle, but young people like me have no use for it. So, Sumireko wants the Nintendo console. And she's trading it for eye cream at the end of the combat gain 2 life. Well, I have no use for it, so sure. Awesome! Now I can finally play the masterpiece, Legend of Wrinkle, Screams of the Wild. I don't think I can use this adult cosmetic either. Oh, is it an adult cosmetic? Well, shoot, I think we got scammed again. Ah well. Beggars can't be choosers, I guess. We have like 186 mun, which isn't a whole lot, so let's go this way and fight our next enemy. Oh, you 3! This is gonna be interesting. Okay, so we have the Doll of Belladonna, the Doll of Nerium, and a Fox Yokai. I think we run into the Belladonna. I think you can, at least, run into the Belladonna on the first act, and you run into the Fox Yokai in the second act. So this is a combination of both horrible worlds. Ugh, rough. So the Fox Yokai here infects you with Charm. This Charm makes it so that you can only use 3 cards per turn, and that's it. No matter how much mana you have, no matter how much you can use, you can only use 3 mana per turn. That's annoying. I don't want to deal with that, so let's use Evil Exterminate, and let's punch her. Twice. All is well in the world now. Alright, so if we use this on you, we make you weak. And then we can add a defense. Sure, we'll do that. Alright, so the dolls here, the dolls are annoying. They deal poison to you. When they die, they inflict 3 poison. And sometimes they just give you poison anyway. So they're gonna be a little annoying to attack together. Alone, they're not terrible, and you only run into 1 in Act 1, so it's not that bad anyway. But when you run into them along with the Fox Yokai, and you can't deal with the Fox Yokai, it does get rough. It does get a little rough here. Alright, so... let's see here. If we use this, we'll convert block to barrier. If we use these two... Actually, if we use both of these here, we only have them doing 5 damage. So that's fine. You can do 14 damage to you, so yeah, that works pretty good actually. But they're inflicting more poison to us, so we gotta deal with them pretty quickly here. So let's see. Evil Ceiling Circle is pretty good, does 18 damage to each one. Oh, but we have an interesting dilemma here. Let's use you, so we gain more, and then we'll do this to do more damage. That's fine. We'll do this to gain more block. More block, sure. Well, we're getting barrier now, but yeah, whatever. Alright. So, if we're lucky... No. Static... Okay, static charge does not add to vulnerability. It just doesn't do that. So, sad to say. No attack, so let's use this to draw. Alright, that's fine. We draw, we use this, we get rid of you, and we move on with our lives. We move on with our lives to bigger, better things. Amulet can be pretty good for a couple of reasons, but the most you would want it for is for the money. So I think I'm gonna use Rumbling, because we get block for free. Alright, so what's our next event? Oh, this one. I'm not going to touch this topic with a 10-foot pole. I am going to buy Proof of Donation though, because it's 200 gil, but Proof of Donation is the player's maximum amount of spell cards is increased by 1. And you can now use this more than once per turn. This is pretty useful, so I'll go ahead and get it. Every vote counts! It does, but... Again, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Alright, so do we want to upgrade or do we want to heal ourselves? I think we want to upgrade you. Because 1 mana, we get to use 2 attack cards twice. So that'll be pretty useful. Dark circles under your eyes, huh? Well, we can fix that. And if we do, we gain a border sensor, which this one allows one to perceive the true nature of reality. I say that's pretty useful. I mean, it's Rainbow. It's gotta be useful, right? Yeah, go ahead and use his eye cream. He deserves to rest up a little bit. You better stop staying up late. I know I don't, but you should. Just saying. Alright, so let's meet our boss. Shiki! Stealing exhibits under guise of incident investigation? How repugnant! What are you gonna do? Oh, you're gonna summon a clone. Ew! Ew! That's a problem. Okay, that's a problem. So, Shikiyaki, her gimmick, she summons a clone of you. And more specifically, she summons a clone of the boss battle you would have against this character in Act 1. So we're facing off against Act 1 Reimu and Act 3 Shikiyaki. Shiki. I can't even get the Shikiyaki part right. What is going on? What is going on here? Oh, whatever. Alright, so let's see how well we can do this. So we're going to use this. We're going to use this. We're going to go Awu. So, Reimu's gimmick is going to be interesting to deal with in this one. I'm gonna go ahead and attack her. And I think I want to get rid of her first. So we're gonna keep sending her all the attack spells here. Already 138 damage. Let's see, 18. It'll be 27 each. 20, 40, 60, 81, 91? Yeah, 81, I think. Nah, I think we'll be fine. So, Reimu's gimmick is that at the start of her turn, she summons Yin Yang Orbs. These Yin Yang Orbs is also a normal enemy in Act 1, but here they're more annoying than ever because, ugh. So, the red Yin Yang Orb gains firepower each turn, and the blue Yin Yang Orb gains spirit each turn. Firepower increases power, spirit increases your defensive plays. Ugh, that's already annoying. This is gonna be annoying. Okay, so we need to actually go ahead and get rid of Reimu pretty quickly here. So I'm gonna use this to gain some barrier. Use this to do that. That's free, so we'll use that, sure. Use this and that because it's free. Yeah, let's go ahead, because if we get rid of her like this turn, that'll help us a lot. Yeah, that's pretty good. 21 damage? Yeah, this will end her. Sorry, Clone Reimu, but not today. Alright, yeah, let's gain our 2 grays, just so we can dodge Shikiyeki's attack, as well as the red Yijing Orbs. And we're fine. We're fine. This is fine. Alright, no one has accuracy, so we're safe. Let's go, Woo. Yeah, let's do Exorcism Dance and see if you can attack the other orbs here. This is gonna be rough. This is gonna be rough. You're at 193. Not a lot of options here. Alright, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna attack you. And I'll have enough barrier to last this attack for now. Excuse invalid. Sentence extended by 1 year. Oh lord. Years. Oh no. That's a problem. We gotta save ourselves here. Alright. Base. Sure. Providence. Sure. Yeah. This will get rid of the other Yin Orb. We find that way. Give us defense. Give us defense. And that's fine. Shigeki tries to attack with accuracy, but we're fine. We can flex. That's good. Okay. So let's see here. Let's use this. Ooh. What an interesting hypothesis. Oh! Add 2 copies. So if we do this, this is 3 attacks for free. That's pretty cool. And this adds 2 more attacks. So that's pretty cool. This gives us 5 divine power. So we have 13 for the next attack. This is pretty cool. So let's do some damage here. 37, 37, 24, 24, and 24 one more time. How do you like these guns, Shiki? This game gets silly, but it gets so fun. Alright, so she drops just a knife. Increase the basic damage of attack cards. If the basic attack card is a base cost of 1, it deals 3 more damage. Otherwise, it deals 6. So these cards, these Hakurai Amulet and Shoots, just got stronger. I say that's pretty good. I do like balanced orbs. I do like this one. It gives us yin yang orb abilities. So yeah, that'll be pretty good. And Raisin, you have tape and a soul gem. Tape is okay, but it only has a one-time use. So once you get it in your thing, you upgrade to defense cards, and that's it. There's no other use for the tape. The soul gem, however, when you visit a gap, you start with an extra white, blue, black, red, and green. I say that's a lot more useful in our situation, especially when we're about to fight Junko. That might be useful. Like cleaning Princess Happy Cons. Happy Cons? What are Happy Cons? Oh wait, is that a pun on Nintendo again? Maybe. The game's trying to be clever, but I'm not falling for it. Alright, so let's go to our next enemy here. Ooh, 2 Tanukis. One's Kaneko, one's Suwako. Both are annoying. Both are very annoying. Let's go Awu twice. Let's gain 2 grays. Let's get rid of Suwako first. Suwako, quote unquote. Suwako is much more annoying. Where Kaneko only does some damage and some buffs and debuffs or whatever, Suwako is the more annoying of the two. Again, Kaneko just kind of attacks, but Suwako does something rough. She makes one of your cards turn into a frog. She jinxes it, essentially. And it costs 4 mana to change that card back to what the card is supposed to be. She does this for every turn onto one of your random cards. That is bullmaleki. I'd much rather not deal with that. So let's not deal with that then. Alright, so let's gain some stuff here. Let's use this. Let's use that. Let's use this. Sure, let's use this. We gain barrier and more reflect powers. So let's see how much damage we can do to Suwako here. Because she's going to summon a card, and then we reflect back to you, 28 damage. We don't even lose half our blocks, so that's pretty nice. Okay. So... oh, this is going to be interesting. Okay, yeah, let's get rid of you first. Because I hate Jinx. I really do. Alright, so let's get some blockage. We're fine, I guess. Because we can protect ourselves for the damage. That's fine. Alright, so let's see. Let's do this. Gain some block. Do some damage. Yeah, Kaneko is really not that bad. She just does extra damage. But Suwako just keeps using Jinx on you, and it's rough. So I'd really rather not deal with that more times than once. Yeah, let's just punch you. And if we're lucky... we're not lucky, sadly. Okay. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter here, as long as we get some attack cards next turn. Alright. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's just get you out of here. So because she summoned you two go away, and we're fine. All is fine in the world. Spread Amulet! Now that's the one I was kind of hoping for. This is pretty good for a non-common. It's a blue card, so you have to have a blue mana to use it, but deal 14 damage to each enemy, gain barrier equal to the amount of damage that was unblocked. That's pretty solid, especially if you run into group enemies. Alright, so next event is medicine. So, medicine. Medicine here is pretty interesting. So, medicine gives you an option. Take Lily out to have fun. If you take her offer, you gain 6 maximum life and you restore your life, but you gain poison because of a misfortune. If you refuse, you lose 15 life, but you gain a tool, which gives you white, black, and green. I really don't want to deal with losing any more life than I need to, so I'm gonna go ahead and accept it. It smells disgusting, but somehow I don't feel tired anymore. Yeah, medicine's cute when she wants to be. Now, here's the thing. Unplayable. So, with fortune cards, they stay in your deck, and when they get drawn, that's when they activate their effects. Misfortune can range from all sorts of annoyances to downright bullcrap. Thankfully, though, I think you can't do it here, but next chance we get, I think we can remove it. Actually, if we went to the shop, I think the shop could have removed it for 50 gil. Beggars can't be choosers, I guess. Alright, meantime. Sure, let's gain more Divine Favor, because we can do that. Alright, so next boss is Doremi. Doremi's gimmick is annoying, but I think it's probably one of the more easier ones to deal with. So, let's see here. Let's use Celestial Flight to get some stuff. Use Balance Orbs to gain Yin Yang Orbs. Let's do Yokai Buster to get rid of our barrier. And see if we can't wake her up because she's sleeping. Doremi, you need to wake up! I just got to the best part! Why would you do that to me? Because I'm busy, and you're in my way. Reimu's kind of rude like that sometimes, isn't he? Alright, so this Yin Yang Orbs will gain some barrier, but also do some damage. That's fine. Yeah, let's save up the energy for next turn. So, Doremi's gimmick here is that if she is given the opportunity, she sends you into Dream State. If you're in this Dream State, she summons more and more enemies. And these enemies are invulnerable to damage. So you don't want her to gain any more momentum. So you gotta take care of her as soon as you can. This includes waking her up, which means going to do enough damage to destroy her barrier and do damage to her. So yeah, you want to do that. Alright, so Province, Realm. Let's do Dance, sure, because Dance does 16 plus 4. And we'll go ahead and do that. That's fine. Alright, so Doremi also does a lot of strong attacks. Her attacks are actually pretty powerful. Like, it's a little too powerful for her own good, so kind of need to try and deal with that as we go. Not really any danger, so we'll save that spell card for later. We'll gain more defense, though, because defense is still useful. Alright, so meditation. We'll do this. Let's do this to do damage. More damage. We'll do that. Let's use this. Yeah, we're fine, because she's only going to do a defensive spell, and then she's going to do a status card. She does Nightmare. Nightmare. That's a problem. Nightmare is evil. If there are a total of 4 nightmares in the hand, the draw, or the discard over here, you lose. So, you cannot let this build up any more than it already has. So you gotta get rid of that as soon as you can. Or at least get rid of her as soon as you can. So right now, let's gain Divine Barrier. You cost less, so let's do this. Just do more damage. Let's gain some block. Gain some block. And you know what? We got some mana left over. Let's get rid of it. Just in case. I don't think we're going to be dealing with it. Like, I don't think we're going to have a problem with it, so I think we're fine. But, you know, the less you have to deal with, the better, you know? Alright, well, we got our fist, so get out of here. Fist of the Hakurai is pretty powerful, don't you know? Chopper! So remember that, tape that upgraded 2 defense cards randomly? Well, Chopper is the attack equivalent. When acquired, upgrade 2 random attack cards. Which is Exorcism, Dance, and Shoot. Could have been worse, could have been better though. Oh, interesting. I kinda like the border because we draw 1 of 3 random defense cards temporarily cost 0. Yeah, I kinda like that. We're gonna use that then. Alright, let's upgrade 1 more card then. You cost 2 mana less if you do this, so yes, we'll upgrade that. And now we get to face our 3rd boss, Junko! Junko's gimmick! She purifies. It doesn't just purify on a whim or an ability or whatever, she purifies every action. So all that mana you have saved up is going to become colorless. Oh, this is going to be rough. Okay, so let's see here. I like Secret Orbs. Secret Orbs is pretty fun. Let's use this ability. Let's use this. Sure, let's do Barrier. Before I lose all my mana here, I'm just gonna go ahead and use the Fist. We'll use this. So, Secret Orbs is pretty fun. You do 21 damage to all enemies, and you get 1 of random Yin-Yang Orbs. When you get a Yin-Yang Orb, this card costs less. So now we can choose from a red and white, a white and blue, or black and green. Personally, I like the Orb of Wind and Thunder, because damage. Alright, so let's get Barrier, let's get Block, let's get more Block, let's get more Block, because we gotta defend ourselves here. And yeah, let's do more damage here, sure. And let's begin turn. So we get to dodge at least 3 attacks here. And block through the other 3, which is fine. Alright. So let's use Minakate. Let's use Awu. Let's do damage. Let's gain some block. And let's do more damage. Thanks to temporary firepower down, we don't take as much damage. Because Junko can do a lot of damage. Like, she's about to do 21 twice. That's rough. But not as rough as Lunacy. Dormy had Nightmare. Junko and Clown Piece have Lunacy. At the beginning of Reimu's turn, if there are a total of 4 Lunacies to hand, to draw, or to discard, exile them, and lose 20 life. I don't want to lose 20 life, thank you very much. So let's go Awu. Let's use 1 Lunacy at the least to actually protect ourselves a little bit. Let's use this to gain more Barrier. And let's do this to do more damage. Oh, we'll be fine for now. We're gonna survive this attack at least. Alright, we're fine. So, after Junko uses her spell card, she gains a firepower, and she also does Lilies of Murderous Intent. Whenever Purifying Light triggers, Reimu loses life. And guess what? She does it every turn. So, we kinda need to, like, stop her pretty quickly. So let's do that. Let's get 2 copies of this card here, and let's use them. And thus we win pretty easily. Found the real culprit with the help of the boarding sensor. Oh, so this exhibit is going to help us find the real culprit. Ain't that a hunky-dory thing to happen here? So if you don't have this item, the border sensor, you don't get to move on. This is where the game normally ends. So you solve the incident normally, but because we have border sensor, now we get to see who's really behind the whole situation. But not until we choose one of our new exhibits here. So our 3 choices is the Aja, gain 1 red, a player's first turn each combat, gain 2 firepower, and add 1 reflected sunlight to the discard pile. We have Ancient Magatama, add a rainbow. After 4 more mana is spent to play a card, gain mana at the start of the player's next turn. Or Miracle Mallet, add a neutral to the mana base. For each neutral spent to play a basic card, increases numeric effect by 100%. All these are actually okay. I think because we are using more firepower, I think I need to get Aja because more firepower is pretty useful. Ooh, especially if we're going to get Dimensional Rift. Ooh, this is going to get fun. As long as we get to use the card. But yeah, this is going to get fun. This is going to get a lot of fun.